My name is Brandon White. I'm RFO Central Manager at Dynamisk Automation. The definition of completions is the activity of making an industrial process ready for operations. The traditional methods of completions always relies typically on paper. It generates a lot of paper. In our experience, we've noticed that it's about a 5-to-1 relationship. So if there's 20,000, let's say it's an average size project, just 20,000 tags, we end up with 100,000 documents of exhibits and the documentation against those tags. So there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to completions and traditional methods. The digital completion systems are paperless. What that means is that you have all of your data in a central repository of some sort, usually some type of a database that lives online. You can go back and search it, and all your documentation is in one place. The biggest risk is that when you're dealing with a lot of paper, it's very difficult to know what you're missing. People will hand over a binder and it's got a lot of exhibits in it, and you can tally up how many you've done, but getting a method to try and figure out what the scoping gaps are and what you're missing is very difficult. Digital completions can mitigate that risk because in digital completion systems, you have placeholders for everything if you're expecting turnover on a particular piece of equipment, and then we can run reports on not just what we have, but also what's missing. Another risk with traditional methods is that it's very difficult to report on, so you have to get somebody that tallies all that information up, and then they have to process it somehow, either in a spreadsheet or sometimes by hand or by a calculator. Typically with reporting requirements on these kinds of jobs, you're having to do that daily. With the digital completion system, everything exists in the database, all the relationships are there, so when you can build reports that run the reports daily, and it's all automated. There are additional benefits to using digital completions that you don't get with traditional methods. Because it's in a database, you can search it, so you can use search terms just like you would with a search engine to pull up the relevant documentation very quickly. So in some cases in the traditional methods, you don't even know where this documentation is. Another benefit is post-project. So you always need to populate your maintenance database. In some cases, you're what they call an MMS, maintenance management system. So if you think about traditional systems, the paperwork, somebody turns it over in a binder and then it goes into some storage location somewhere. That information then needs to get into your maintenance management system at the end of the project. Sometimes that's a manual process, sometimes it doesn't happen at all. In a digital completion system, however, you can set it up to capture all that information while you're out in the field, get it in your checklist, and then once it's in your completions database, at the end of the project, you can take that information and then preload your maintenance management system. This is one of the benefits that's unique to RFO Central. We call it asset data capture. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the benefits that we can get out of digital completions. We discuss them in depth in a webinar about this subject, digital completions, which you can check out with the link, and see a lot more of the benefits that are associated with moving to digital completions.